everyone, welcome to Quest for Truth. I'm your host, Douglas Hamp, and with me is Rob Skiba. Hey, Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be back.
Yeah, indeed, man. Hey, this is just a short little commercial we're doing for the Quest for Truth virtual conference. It's going to be Decoding the End Times, and it'll be a virtual conference. So a lot of times people ask us, are we living in the last days? And we wanted to do a conference with that question. But more than that, we wanted to do a conference for the people that cannot make it to live events. I don't know about you, Rob, but I get a lot of comments from people saying, oh man, you're going to do a conference. I wish I could be there. When are you going to do one in our area? We'd love to come.
Yeah, I hear that, especially from people out of the United States. People out in Australia or whatever ask, when are you going to come out to Australia? I'm like, whenever you invite me. But the fact is, live conferences are expensive. Whether you're an attendee or whether you're a speaker or whether you're a conference host where you're putting it all together, I mean, it is a lot of money to go to a conference. And so, and these days people don't have a lot of money, but they do have a lot of questions. And so we're thinking, well, how can we answer the questions without people having to travel a long distance or having to spend a lot of money? So we've come up with this idea for a virtual conference. And what's that all about?
Well, the idea is that it'll be a conference that's directed toward the lover of prophecy who wants to be at a live conference, but again, doesn't have either the money or the time, or there's some conflict that just does not allow them to get there. And like you said, it can cost many hundreds of dollars to attend a conference. If you go with your wife or your husband, it may cost upwards of $1,000, especially if there's airfare involved or hotels or food. Mm-hmm. I mean, all these things just tend to add up. And so we wanted to do something so that people that cannot generally make it can come to this conference, and we're going to do it online. We have some software and a system available that will allow us to host a conference. The seating is unlimited, so there's no problem of not getting a seat, and this way we can have it so that people can be there without having to actually come. It'll kind of be like a drive-in theater. So you could think of it this way, you could get a bunch of friends and family together, have them come over for the 2 days of the conference, and it could really be a fun bonding experience. And you can kind of sort of talk shop. You can be the armchair quarterback as people are up there giving their understanding of the end times and decoding the end times. So we felt that this would be a great way for people to get involved who can't normally be involved.
One of the things I love about going to a conference is the interaction. I love interacting with other speakers. We get to go out to eat sometimes and hang out between sessions or whatever and kind of compare notes. And I really love interacting with the attendees. They always have lots of questions after a presentation, and they have other insights, and a lot of other researchers out there, that they may not be on the stage with you at the particular conference, but they're doing a lot of the same research, so that they bring it to the table, and they talk with you, and I just love that kind of interaction. And a lot of the conferences that we've been to and that we've done, they also streamed them online for people, so if people couldn't attend, they could watch the streaming video, but that's all you could do is just watch the video. You couldn't interact with anybody, and that's the thing that I think is missing from a lot of online conferences out there or streaming conferences is the inability to interact. But with the system that we're working with, people are going to be able to do that, aren't they?
Absolutely. In fact, we're going to have a time of taking polls. People can send in their questions through instant messaging through the system. They can even clap, and we can kind of take a temperature of the room and see what people are feeling. So it'll be nice because many times at a conference, somebody will be speaking. It's of course very exciting. You might be taking notes, and you just wish you could ask a question. But so often it's on such a tight schedule that there's no opportunity to really ask a question, and by the time the Q&A comes along, like maybe the next day or something, your question either got forgotten or it suddenly seems irrelevant or something. We're going to have a time that after each speaker there'll be a dedicated time of questions and answers so that people can send in their issue, whatever is on their hearts about that topic, and then we will address it right then and there. So we still want it to be very interactive. Even though you're not going to physically be there, We think this is truly the next best thing. And in fact, as far as the money you're going to be saving, it's probably a lot better than actually going.
Boy, you're not kidding, man. You know, I was just thinking about a conference that Sheila and I just went to down in Austin, which for us is like a 4-hour drive. So right there, you know, you're spending about $60 or more, you know, on gas. I mean, gasoline's like over $3 a gallon these days, you know. So just getting there it was costing us $60. It was a 3-day deal, and we got a hotel room for 2 nights. So right there, you're dropping $125, $150. Then of course you got to eat, you know, 3 meals a day plus some snacks in between and bottled water and stuff like that. So you know, overall, you're spending like $350, $400 just to be there. Never mind if you have to, you know, this particular one we didn't have to pay for admission, but a lot of conferences you do. So you add that to the mix, and then you want to buy books and DVDs and stuff. So I mean, it can become very expensive to attend a conference like that. So we're going to spare you, the audience, that expense with our virtual conference. When is it? When are we having it?
It's going to be November 8th and 9th. That'll be Saturday night, November 8th. We're starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it will go probably towards like midnight, and then we'll start again Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we will go throughout the day and late into the evening as well. We'll have about 14 hours of content, roughly, where we can really go through and just get a great feel for this question of the end times. And I think we should point out, Rob, that the speakers that we're going to have, I mean, first of all, we're very excited about these speakers. They were hand-picked, but we don't all agree on everything. I mean, goodness, you and I don't agree on everything, right? That's why we started.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yeah, let's be honest. Let's just be completely honest. We never agree with everybody completely, right? I mean, you know, of course, I know that I'm completely right and everybody else is wrong. I mean, you know, you're wrong. You're just so wrong about that whole 1 incursion, 2 incursion. Okay.
I think we need to have a live interactive debate.
I know, exactly. But you know, the point is that we're able to disagree on some of these topics because, let's admit it, aside from the very cross itself, everything else is kind of secondary, right? I mean, aside from Jesus being the only way to be with the Father, I mean, everything else that we talk about is kind of secondary and tertiary. So we want to look at some of these other topics, and of course, you know, having said that, we do believe there's a lot of importance when it comes to the end times because, hey, God gave us His Word. So if His Word means anything at all, then we should devote ourselves to studying it, to knowing it, to learning it. And so that's why we're having this conference.
Yeah, so who do we have lined up for this conference?
Well, we have John McTernan. I'm very excited about John. He truly is a world-class speaker. He's both an apologist, a Bible scholar, and brings a lot of depth to the topic of the end times. In fact, he's done a lot of work on genetics and the mark of the beast sort of technology. He is going to be talking about the 666 surveillance system, among other things, and so I think he's going to give us a lot of great insight. In fact, I quoted him in my book, Corrupting the Image, where I was talking about transhumanism and, you know, what that is and the changing of the DNA. I discovered some articles that he wrote, and so I quoted him in the book, and I'm glad I did. And he's just a tremendous researcher. We also have Doc Marquis. You know, Doc Marquis is he has a lot of experience and practical knowledge in the ways of the Illuminati and the New World Order because he grew up in it. And so he's repented of that. I mean, he's no longer there. He's a born again Christian, but he is going to give us some insights into that area that I believe will be very interesting. We also have Daniel Duval. He's a young and energetic and passionate guy who loves the Word. I mean, he is just so on fire for the Word and for the moving of the Holy Spirit. I think he's going to give us some great fresh insights into the end times scenario. And we also have Freeman Fly, and he is not a Christian, but he has a lot of experience with the same kind of topics that we'll be looking at just from a non-Christian perspective, but still looking at that solid evidence. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, some of our viewers and listeners may be familiar with his work. I certainly was, especially when you started looking into things like Freemasonry and Illuminati and corporate logos and things of that nature. He's got a ton of information up on the internet, but he actually contacted me a while back, and we developed a relationship, became friends, and I've interviewed him on my radio show, and he's interviewed me on his Google Hangout show. And one of the things that he said, he says, you know, Rob, what I find most interesting is the fact that you and I are looking at a lot of the same material, and of course we're coming at it from different worldviews. He says, you know, I'm coming at it from more of a secular scientific worldview, and you're coming at it from a biblical worldview, and yet we're coming to the same conclusions.
We want information.
Information from the pioneer of knowledge, the connector of pieces, with accurate predictions and deeper discoveries. Prepare for the wild side of conspiracy theory. Freeman TV.
I want to say it was about 6 or 8 months ago or so, I saw that you had posted my Mythology and the Coming Great Deception video on your Facebook page and left a very complimentary comment with it. And I thought, wow, this is cool. I mean, because I'm researching your stuff, you know, and I'm like, wow, he's got my stuff up on his wall. So, you know, then we start talking to each other, and now here we are. But yeah, it's true. For a long time, we've been sort of paralleling each other without really knowing anything about the other person.
I was blown away. There's no doubt about it. And what I think is amazing and wonderful is that I've come at this through a secular perspective, and you've come at this through a biblical perspective.
Yeah. Both of our audiences loved it. So in a way, it sort of became a bridge for his audience as well as my audience to look at a lot of the same things, but from different angles. Like, you know, Paul said, everybody, Jew, Gentile, Christian, non-Christian, everybody looks through the glass dimly. And, you know, when we're looking through it at the different angles, we're seeing certain details. Like you said, we're filtering it through our world experience. And he's had some very interesting life experiences, not all that different from Doc Marquis. And so he sees details through his filter, and you and I see it through our filter. But I think there's value in bringing somebody like Freeman on board because he sees details that you and I are missing. So, you know, it's an opportunity for his audience to come and listen to what we have to say, and our audience to listen to what he has to say. And whether or not we all agree on everything, that's not the point. The point is that everybody has the opportunity to share, to ask questions in a friendly environment. And hopefully all of us can grow from it. So I'm actually really excited to have Freeman on board with us.
Absolutely. I think this is so exciting. And we have Derek and Sharon Gilbert that will be joining us for the conference.
Yeah, you know, Derek and Sharon, they have actually a couple of online radio shows. They have Peering into Darkness, PID Radio, and A View from the Bunker. And as many of our viewers and listeners may already know, they are conference regulars, often attending all of the prophecy conferences and setting up interviews for each of the speakers to be on their show. In fact, Quest4Truth probably wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Derek Gilbert, sort of putting us on the spot. We were on a round table discussion. It was L.A. Marzulli, you, myself, and Derek facilitating. It was a 2-hour session of Q&A with the audience, and at the end of the first hour, L.A. Marzulli had to leave, and he was just about ready to step off the stage when Derek said, so when we come back from the break, we're going to address the question, if the Nephilim were destroyed in the flood, how did they come back after the flood, after the break, you know? And L.A. was like halfway off the stage. He turns around, he's like, oh, man, because he so wanted to engage in that debate. But you and I did. We went for about an hour, and I think we both found it very enjoyable. And then you contacted me about 3 weeks later and said, hey, what do you think about starting a show based on the fact that we don't all agree? And so hence Quest4Truth was born, thanks to Derek Gilbert.
Yeah, you know, it really just underscores the importance of being able to talk about the differences that we have. Because, you know, and again, none of us has the corner on truth. We're on a quest for truth. The Bible is our sure foundation, but we need to be able to explore some of the ideas, to talk about them without calling each other a heretic, but to take a deeper look at what Scripture has to say. So, very exciting.
Yeah, right on. So I think we have a great lineup of speakers in store for you guys, and we have some special incentives lined up as well for people who register early, don't we?
Yeah, for people that register before October 24th, we're actually going to be including in that a package of digital resources. So that'll be books, that could be timelines, it may be a digital or let's call it a video product by all of the speakers. So we want people to go away with this from this conference with just a mini library of resources that they can turn to that again, each of the researchers has spent a lot of time in developing these different resources. I mean, I for one spent 2 years writing a book, and I'll be including that in the package. So it'll be something that you can take away, and it's yours to keep. Again, so everyone that registers before October 24th will get that. It's at least $100 worth of stuff, and I think they'll be very excited about it.
So with that in mind, how much are we charging for this virtual conference that we're trying to put together?
Well, certainly, there's always a price, but there's also value, right? I mean, we all know that the value here is that you're getting the conference itself, so that's like 14 hours approximately of talk, plus a lot of times after you've been to a conference, you want to get the DVD set, and that can be anywhere from say $40 to $60 to $70 for the DVD set, and then of course all the books. So what we're doing is included with the price of the conference is you're getting well over $100 to maybe $150 worth of digital products, plus you're getting basically a lifetime access. Of course I say lifetime because who knows, maybe I'll kick the bucket, so I can't make any promises post-mortem, okay, but you're going to you get to watch the videos for a long time, let's just put it that way, and they will be online anytime for you to watch. And hey, let's talk about something else. This could be like the drive-in movie theater. Remember that? You could have as many people as you could squeeze in your car, you could go to the drive-in movie theater. And that's way back in the day, but nowadays you can invite people over. I mean, so one registration is really good for an entire household. So I'd say get some popcorn, maybe get some burgers, and make this a fun event, or it could be part of your church event. So it doesn't have to be just one person, but as many people as you can invite over to watch it, then you can sort of defray the cost right there. So the value is quite huge. So we're looking at probably close to $200 worth of freebies and goodies that go along with this, and we're excited to be able to bring this to you for just $49.95.
$49.95. That's amazing. Guys, think about this. Of course, we have expenses on our end. That's why we need to charge for it. But $49.95, you can get your whole household together, like Doug said. You can get your church together, or whatever group you're, if you have a meeting room or whatever. If you guys have a big screen TV or a video projector, you can put it up there and everybody can watch. I mean, you can get 50 people in a room if you want to. For $49.95, it's like you can split the cost, $1 a person if you want to. But like we said, every speaker is giving away at least one free digital product. I'm actually giving away two. I've created some timeline charts that some of you may have seen on my blogs and stuff that I put out there. If you were to buy them separately on my website, they're $10 a piece. So right there, that's a $20 value. So that's almost half of what we're charging for admission. And of course, Doug's going to provide what's the retail value of your book that you're going to offer?
That's $20. Yeah, it's a $20 value, and I'll be throwing in a few other things too. So it'll be
right there,
probably
just
about
with the
$40. Yeah, exactly. It'll be worth about $40. Yeah.
Yeah, just between Doug and I, you are already, if you were to buy those things on my website or Doug's website, you'd be paying about $50 right there. And we haven't even included what Freeman's going to give away, or what Doc Marquis or Danny or John or anybody else might be giving away. So we think we're offering a tremendous value, but you need to take advantage of it between now and October 24th. After that, the price of admission will still be $49.95. You just won't get all the freebies. So you want to act quickly.
Yeah, but I do want to point out that the archives will be available,
Yes.
for the indefinite future, as far as we can see in the future. Those will be available. So, if you have questions about the end time, if you're one of those people that is having some trouble deciphering between what is biblical truth and what is man's traditions, then this conference really is for you. This is an opportunity for us to share what we've discovered. As all these researchers going through the Word, we want to just give. We want to give and give and give over this weekend, so that you can come away with a better understanding. And are we all going to agree? Well, probably not, but that's okay, because we are truly on a quest for truth, and we want to point you in the right direction so that you can go and study the Word for yourself and be blessed and grow in your relationship with the Lord. So we hope to see you November 8th and 9th. It'll be wherever you live is where you need to show up, but we'll be sending you some emails, giving you some further instructions on what you need to do. It's very, very, very simple. All you need is a computer. Okay, that's all you need is a computer, and you are able to attend this virtual conference. Hope to see you.
And an internet. You need an internet connection too.
Well, yeah. If they don't have an internet, they're probably not watching.
Yeah. Well, I got a computer. I'll go slow there.
Right. I mean, that's sort of a given, right?
Yeah,
So if you have an
think.
internet, right? Okay. Anyway, well, we hope to see you November 8th and 9th with your internet connection. You can bring some family and friends to this, hang out at your place for the day, and I think you're going to have a great time. We're looking forward to seeing you then. Make sure to register. Till next time, God bless.